When you look at Wake Forest and kind of what they did defensively last year and this year, what are the big differences and what are the things this year's team you feel does really well?
Well, regardless of what year it is, Wake Forest is going to play great defense, and they're very aggressive. They're extremely sound. They're very well coached. They make it difficult to run. They make it difficult to throw the ball. They're giving up 12 points a game. We're extremely impressed, and they have our full attention, and looking forward to a great battle.
Coach, how do you attack a team that allows 80 rushing yards per game?
You're going to find a way, but they make it very hard. They're going to load the box and make it tough to stop the run. So, again, they've always hung their hat on that, and that'd be a great challenge for our linemen and our backs and our tight ends and receivers to find a way to run the ball.
Ricky had a big year last year, and it's kind of disappeared this year. How do you get him more involved in the offense?
I just think it's not a matter of targets or disappeared. It's just a matter of where you're at when the play's called. Sometimes you're in the right spot at the right time, sometimes you're not. And that's when you play fast, when you spread the field, and our outside guys do not change sides. And that sort of happens. So, he's not doing anything wrong, and we're not calling anything trying to not throw him the ball. It's just sort of how it's worked out so far.
After a bye week, when you get a chance to really go back and dive in the first couple of games, what were maybe 2 or 3 things you looked at and said, okay, these things got to get better as we get closer to Big Ten play?
Yeah, well, we got to be better on third down. We're not where we want to be right now. We need better conversions, and we really need better conversions in the score zone. A couple of times this year we really hurt ourselves just with self-inflicted wounds or silly penalties that have stopped drives for us and kept us from scoring touchdowns. So I would say those 2 things right now are number 1.
I'm kind of curious about backup quarterback. Do you have a dedicated number 2 guy, or is it kind of situational?
Yeah, right now it's Alexander Diamont, Danny Cameron. Both those guys are working in. We're trying to increase Austin King's reps as well. So I don't know if I have an exact answer for you. I guess maybe it's best to say situational. All 3 are competing. All 3 are doing well. We're really trying to see of those guys someone to separate themselves. But all 3 we feel really good about.
At this point in time, do you think Dan Feeney plays? Do you think he doesn't play?
I haven't heard much about the official word, and I know Coach Wilson kind of handles all those injury report questions. So right now I don't know.
Okay. Is it a big deal? I know he's good, but
again, I know Coach Wilson handles those because I don't know. I know Coach Wilson gets all that information.
Okay.
How much of a luxury was it to have Jacob Bailey, a guy who's started and played and been here for 5 years, be able to just slide right in?
Yeah, right. And such a great team player. He's always got a great attitude. Comes to work every single day. Provides outstanding leadership. And this football team, this football season, that's important to Jacob, and he wants to do well, like a lot of our guys do. But for sure, I was excited to see him step in and do well.
Have you guys put maybe more responsibility on Wes Martin, having 2 young guys rotating into his line?
Yeah, we expect a lot from him, because he's not a young guy anymore, and he's played a lot of football, and he's a very strong kid, and we need him to play strong and physical, which he's very capable of doing. But all those guys, those O-linemen up front, Coach Fry gets them ready to go, and when one guy goes down, the next guy steps up. And with Wes, he's played plenty of football, so we need him to play at a high level.
When you talk about the strongest guy on the team, strongest guy on the offense, where's Wes in that conversation?
Oh, I think he would be the strongest guy on the offense. He's a big, strong kid and can bench press a lot of weight. Now the deal is to translate that onto the football field, and that's what we're trying to get all of our kids at every position. No matter what you bench, you need to play with that force on the field.
As far as Camion, do you think he'll play more running back or wide receiver when he comes back?
Again, I know those are for Coach Wilson, just with medical and injuries, and I have no idea. We'll see whenever he gets cleared.
With Mike Majette, he's looked very good on those screen passes. Do you see getting him the ball and Devontae Williams the ball more on the outside?
I said this at the beginning of the year. We have 7 or 8 running backs that we think can all play. Some of those guys were different athletes in high school, whether it's a DB, a receiver, and a quarterback, like Majette was. So for us, we're just trying to find out how can we put the ball in their hands, best situations. It might just be handing it to them. It might be throwing it to them. They're all skilled guys, skilled athletes. Just a matter of finding the best way to put the ball in their hands.
Nick Westbrook made a lot of big plays for you guys against Ball State. When you went back and looked at the tape, what stood out to you about his performance, and where does he maybe still need to improve, or what else is working?
I think with a lot of guys on our offense, skill positions, we need them to play more physical at the point of attack, and that would include all my wide receivers, all the tight ends. So we're always looking for improvement there. But the great thing to see with Nick, with a young kid, was to see him catch the ball and turn one into a big play and run away from some defenders. That was encouraging to see. We talk a lot about competitive plays and throwing the ball down the field, and it's one-on-one, and it was encouraging to see him go make that play. So, again, we talk to our kids every single day about those plays, and it was neat to see him make them.
with Divine kind of leading that running back group effort, what's the message to him specifically this week with such a good Wake Forest run defense?
So I think that's it right there. Just, these guys they do a great job of stopping the run, and we need to match their scheme. We need to match their intensity and match their physical play, and again, find a way to run the ball.
I guess what, carrying back from last year with Divine, the way he ended the season, carrying it with a couple 100-plus yard games this season, how does he keep that rolling this year?
Well, it's going to start with great film study. It's going to start with great preparation on the practice field, and then knowing your opponent, knowing how we're trying to attack them. But really with Divine, he's such a great practice player that's what I think has led him to have some success on the field.
This is a little bit big picture, but when you look at the Big Ten East, I think teams ranked 2, 4, and 8 in one of the polls are all in one division. So what are your thoughts on how good the division has become, or just how good it is?
Yeah, well, we've known it's a great division of football, and we talk to our kids about it. We recruit that way. We tell the recruits that, listen, come play in the best division of all of college football, and we're excited about that. That's an outstanding challenge for us, and for us to show as a program where we stand up, and we're looking forward to it. We're gonna give Wake Forest everything we got, and we're gonna reload and give the next guys everything we got, and we're gonna do that for about 10 straight weeks.
Coach, Mitchell Page, Nick Westbrook, Luke Temian, they're all roommates. Have you seen any special chemistry between them on the field at all or in practice?
Well, I think that's the reason that they are roommates, is that they did have that chemistry. I think they're good buddies. They hang out with each other. But, that started a long time ago, really, I guess a year ago. But they've hung out. They're very similar personalities, and I think they complement each other really well on the field.
Do you think that's really a big reason why they've really stepped up, especially Nick and Luke in the Ball State?
I don't know if that has as much to do with it just as being a tight wide receiver core in general. We talk about next guy up and maintaining the standard. And when it's your time to play, you got to step up and play at a high level. And we need as many young guys to do that as possible.
All right, thanks, Gabe.